minimize.
Hi, Van.
Hi po.
Hi, Dr. Ellie.
Kailangan po ba may video?
Pag nag-present ka, oo, pero yung makikita naman yung yung presentation mo.
Okay.
Maganda naman yung book mo, Van, eh.
Maganda yung book mo, Van.
Inggit ako.
Ay, dyan eh.
Hi, Pa.
Ayun, congratulations, Van.
Ay, yeah, congratulations, Van.
Thank you po.
Ikaw lang naka-virtual oath taking.
Yeah.
Ginawa niyo ba through Zoom?
Yeah.
Pero parang konti lang yung nag-attend.
Hindi, Miss Alice, hindi ko nalagay sa caption, pero ako lang yon.
Oo.
Puro staff yun ng CIC.
Oh.
Hi, Tita Linda.
Hello.
Kumusta? Michelle, paki-add mo siya sa list.
Okay. Langan.
2 o'clock pa po, so relax. Kasya kaya tayo lahat sa screen mamaya pagka marami na, no? Michelle, mag-print screen.
Siguro tayo. Siguro several pictures.
Kasi kung 77 yung dadating.
Yeah. Di tayo abot.
Hi, Tita Agnes.
How are you guys?
Kumusta? Kumusta?
Mabuti. Ito. Papahinga.
Nabilang na ba boto?
Ano na?
Nabilang na ang boto?
Jajajajan.
Do. Hirap na hirap kami. Isa-isa namin.
Talaga.
Sorry. Ay, nako. Magaling si Pat mag-set up.
Oo nga. Let's move pa talaga.
Lagay mo ulit.
Technical person sa grupo.
Naging ako, meron akong sungay. Ang laki naman ng ulo ko, sweetheart, na natakpan kita.
Oo, talagang malaki ka naman eh.
Bakit wala akong picture?
Oo nga.
Teka ha.
Click video. Start video.
Yeah, I know. But hindi ko na open sa meetings.
Hi, Anna.
Nakaabot ba yung new member, Diana? Nagbayad
I
na.
sent her the
Ako,
link.
nagbayad na po.
Oo nga.
Nagbayad agad.
Oo nga eh.
Wow.
Okay, there you are.
Pat, ilang new members yung introduce natin mamaya?
Nag-RSVP po ay, hold on, 18.
18, so we'll just go very quick.
Yes.
Hindi pa naman nagpi-feedback eh.
Ayan.
Subukan kong nakasampay yung volume ng TV.
Hello, Jess.
Pero ang lakas na kanina nung naka-record.
Yeah, of course.
Hi!
Sorry, no.
Sabi. Rosanna's here.
Wala nang make-up ha?
Yun nga ang kagandahan, Tita Agnes eh. Ako nga naka-shorts lang ngayon eh, di ba?
Ako nga sabi ko,
Hindi na kailangan magbihis.
Oo. Sabi ko, bali na, tinatamad na ako. Nagagaling namin sa nagpa-physiotherapy ako eh.
Oo, nga pala, pwede na.
Oo, pwede na. Yeah, kasi yung aking arms, di ba yung shoulders ko na medyo sumasakit.
Tita Beth. Nag-share na screen si Tita Beth.
Dapat pala akong picture.
Kasi yung screen ang shinare mo.
Ayun. Ayan na.
Tama ba?
Ang ayan na ako. Ang liwanag yung likod ko eh. Ano ba yan? Taga-aalisin ko. Ayan na ako. Nakita niyo na ako.
Yung systems dialogue, ang nakikita ko dito, I think you have to stop
Presenting.
Screen share. Yeah.
Yan.
Okay. At the bottom.
Oh, hi, Tita Beth.
Oh, nakita mo na ako. Oh,
Of course.
Ang liwanag.
Hello sa mga newcomers.
Lipstick pa ako ha.
Wala na.
Pagkakataon na mag-lipstick, anak ng shock pa, nakakaasap
Uy, Miss Janet, ang sarap mo naman dyan. Nasa labas ka.
Mas ako, para di ako makaistorbo sa loob.
Ah, akala ko na.
Pwede rin akong lumabas, kaya maaraw masyado eh.
Oo nga, ako nga nag-on ako ng aircon eh. Nakainom.
Sinarado ko nga lahat ng bintana, kasi masyadong maaraw.
Pressy. Hello, Pressy.
Hi, Miss Pressy.
Hello. How's everyone?
Good, how are you?
All right, surviving.
What do you guys feel about being...
Cooped up.
Saan ka, Agnes? Bakit parang palasyo yung likod mo?
Oh nga, this is the ruins in
Lithium
Bacolod.
ba yun?
Where are you?
The ruins in Bacolod. That's the, yung picture na
Picture ng ruin sa Bacolod. Okay.
ruins sa Talisay.
Oo nga, oo nga.
Si Van nasa Machu Picchu.
Ikaw nasaan ka?
Yahe.
Asan ka, Pat?
Sa basement po.
Ilan na tao? Marami na ba?
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi. Figures ko. So, yung kanina earliest na
Siya yung si Miss Graciela, ang pinaka-latest natin yata no? Plus yung pero hindi na ikaw yung pinaka-latest Miss Graciela, may humabol about an hour ago.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And it's all because nasa Instagram tayo, nilagay tayo ni Diana dun sa Instagram. So may nakakita agad. So agad siya, nag-fill up ng application form, nagbayad, and hopefully he can come.
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram.
Oo nga.
UPAA_TO.
Oh yeah?
Okay.
Meron si iPad. Sino si iPad?
I also see Maria and Eliseo on the
Yeah,
line.
Eliseo, why don't
Si
you
Dr. Ellie Chan.
on the video so that you can see you guys. It's Rosana, Pressy, Jess.
Wow, fresh na fresh ka, Tita Linda.
Linda,
Fresh na fresh. Bagong paligo. You're on mute.
naka-mute ka, Linda.
Hi, Rose.
Ang sarap.
O, nasa beach ka din, Rose.
Palawan.
That is Cebu, actually.
Oh, Cebu. Nice. Ay, Tito Bay. Si Tito Bay pala si iPad.
Hello.
Hi.
Just trying, just checking.
Okay.
I know how to go into Zoom.
Click lang naman ang nag-link, hindi ba? Bilis.
Yeah, relax. We can still chit-chat. It's still 7 minutes to go.
Pero pinabuhay natin
Hello,
ngayon.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hey, kita sa na ba? Bye, ka na ba? Oo.
Siya si iPad.
Ano ba kayo?
Dito.
Yeah.
Wala tayo ni Kat. Ha? Asa ka? Ikaw ba yan, Freddy? Yes, sir.
Ready boy.
Ba't wala ka? Teka muna. There. I will.
Hi, Freddy!
There you go.
Ayun na.
Hi, Fred.
Freddy. Hi.
Hi, Tito Bay!
Hello there. Ikaw ba yan, Beth?
Beth here, yes!
Oh, Rose, how are you? Did you lose weight? Oh, Madam Linda, how are you? The President Linda. Oh, Michelle, hi, how are you, Michelle?
Hi, Fred. Hello, everyone.
Nasa beach ka ba?
Ha?
Si...
Linda ba yan?
Sa beach si Michelle. Michelle, nasa labas ka ba?
Hindi, ano yan, yung backdrop.
That's where I wish I am. In Boracay.
Two! Ay, naku, buhay natin. Ganito na lang ba? Yes.
After 4 months, nakakaano na.
At least we're alive.
I'm ready. Hello.
Oh, eh, kita ko si Leo. Wala nagkadala. Leo, magkanya ka ng picture.
To join patio dining, sino na ang kalabas sa
Si
inyo?
Jess, wala rin picture.
Yes, nandiyan ba?
May-
Yeah, I'm okay. Hi, Alice.
Kami natakot.
Si Ellie here.
Ay, magpapita si Jess.
Si Rosana. Ay, Rosana.
Ang
Oh, si Mr. Pat.
ni Michelle.
Pat,
Kala ko tinatawag mo ko dito.
future.
Nandito ako, sir.
Wow! Mas maganda yung background ni Jess. Wow! Ano yan? Golden Gate?
San Francisco.
Oy, may COVID yan.
Kaingit naman.
Mag-subscribe, go down,
Yung
go.
sagada, ilalagay ko sa likod ko.
Ang dami kayang COVID dyan, Tito Jess. Mag-ingat ka.
Alright.
Oh, nasa US ka, Jess.
Ano pa, may isa ka pang ano
Baka pagkatapos na may COVID ka na. Kasi Jess.
Sino tong Jess Pirucho na to na isa pa?
Yung
Sa
twin
desktop ko,
niya.
Sa desktop ko, wala akong wala akong camera doon, saka wala akong
I see. Okay.
sa laptop
ng
doon.
background yan.
Ay, ano.
Okay, ito nang paglalagay ako ng background.
Hello. Sino na nandito? Girl.
Hi, Tita Diana.
Si Pat, si Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Linda.
Ellie, Madam President.
Hi.
Oh, sino yan?
Agnes.
Sino po yung naka-phone?
Si Rosario.
Ha?
Si Rod.
Bumabiyahe kami.
Hi, Rosario, how are you?
Hi, Alex. Parang nawawala ka, Alex,
Hi,
ah.
Leo. Hello.
Sinubukan mo na yung full
Hi.
screen.
Pag hindi, meron namang Windows print screen eh. Meron na. Nasubukan ko na.
May very full screen yung screen na ng Zoom.
Tayo.
Yes, boy.
Ah,
27?
Saan-
Wow!
kanan?
Up, right,
Hopefully,
right,
maka-edit mo tayo this today.
Wow!
Full screen yan. Yeah.
Kakanta tayo, Leo. Kakanta tayo.
Tsaka nare-record din yan. Ito lang natin.
Hi, Leo!
Hello.
Mamaya magkakaraoke tayo pagka kinanta natin yung national anthem.
Screen share na.
Hi, Sir Rod. Kumusta po?
Mabuti kayo.
Mabuti naman.
How many
Oh, nasa
people
si
are
Rod.
here?
Ayun si Rod.
Rod, hi. Good to see you, Rod.
Hi. How many people are here?
Oh, hi!
Yes.
Ellie, nasaan si... What's with... Ellie.
Hi. Mga over 90, over 100.
Ah, ang 77 eh. Pero plus maybe, mga 83.
Okay. Oh, ay na si Marie Chris. Asa?
Si Marie Chris.
Hello!
Hi! Bakit di ka nagpapakita? Magpakita ka na mo.
Sandali Oh, iba pala yung...
Turn on your video.
Hi, Diana. Hello.
Hello.
Kilala na natin yung nakatelepono.
Hi. Hi, Rod.
Hi. Mabuti.
Hello.
Kumusta?
Fine. Maria.
Oh, hi!
Hello, Beth.
Hello. From
Hi, Kachito.
Hey, Cachito. I hope everybody's healthy and safe.
So far, yes.
Lovely.
So far, so healthy.
That's lovely to hear.
Super healthy. Sabi ng tumaba. Ano mo?
Welcome, Ernie.
makuberan niya ng konti yung mukha.
Pagpagupit na, nag-parlor na ako.
Nasa
Again.
lang yan, Engel.
Driving. Tito Renesta. Driving.
Hey, how are you?
Wow, sobrang dedicated.
Sino yun?
We're now at 32 participants.
31.
33, 34, almost half. So we'll maybe wait for a few more minutes.
Si Delphine, hi. Hindi ko makita.
Guwapa naman nun nyo ah.
Wow, sige. Hey, Marcus.
Hindi ko kilala yung mga iba bago.
Bago.
Oo, yung mga bago.
Ready na ba kayong ano?
Wow, yun si Rene. Rene, hi. Are you driving, Rene?
Yeah.
Oh, okay siya, driving. Oh, si Jean. Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Pati ko sila nakikita.
After the yes coming.
Yeah, yeah. That's
You may have to
Oh.
send left kanan. Yan. Pinutin mo yan.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi.
Iba.
ay oo nga pala, no? May second page pala.
May second page.
Hi,
Kaya
Kaya
mamaya, wala kayong problema.
Ay, hello. Nasa second page kayo, kaya pala hindi ko kayo nakikita. Nasa first page ako.
Oh, marami eh. You have to go around.
Yeah.
Doctor's coming. Last doctor.
Ayan.
So 39.
39 na.
Hello.
Hi!
I see you every day.
There's
Oh,
Doctora.
si Esther. Andiyan na si Esther.
Eileen
Doctora yun si Doctora.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. De Villa. Kumusta? Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
we're just waiting for some more people to come.
Is your mom joining us, Eileen?
You know what? I'll text her and find out. Actually, I know I have seen her for dinner tonight, but I did not ask her about this. I admit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can start singing while people are coming in. Karaoke na tayo?
Yung 205, 202 pa lang.
Sir Sagala. Tita.
Hi.
Ayan na. Ayan na si Gilbert. Okay. We're now 43. Oh, wonderful. 43 because some people
Yeah. We can just perhaps wait for the people and maybe skip the national anthem, no?
mga 205 siguro. 202 pa lang.
Yeah. And then we can skip the national anthem, so that's fine.
Sino kakanta? Si Leo?
Hindi daw eh. Hindi yung kanyang boses daw ngayon. Walang kondisyon. Tama ba, Sir Leo?
Oo.
Oh, hi, Tita Marie P.
Eileen,
Dami dumadating. We're now 45.
Nabarili sa luneta.
Hello, Marikipay.
Gagawin na pala sila.
Ito naman ang
Saan si Tito Rene?
Yung sa kanan, mag-page.
Yeah, ganun siya.
Iba.
Hello, Bing. Sa
Wala na.
Dubai.
Oo nga, yun nga, nakita ko.
Hello, Esther. Hello.
Yeah, it's Fred.
So, hindi pala posibleng pagka, kunwari, mag-screenshot na nandun lahat no? Cannot?
Masyado yatang marami tayo.
But we can
Ay,
take the
Manu.
picture of the video.
Magiging page 1, page 2, I think.
Yeah.
We can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ayan.
Where's Tita Malu?
There she is.
Hi! Saan siya?
Ayun, sa left
Ay,
corner.
si Nohin.
Left corner.
Nag-lipstick ka rin? Ako nag-lipstick din
Nag-lipstick din ako.
Philippines.
Ayun.
Ilang ko, kakataon na mag-lipstick.
Hi, Tita Daisy.
Hi, Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hello, Daisy.
Hi, Vanessa. We're now 49.
Wow, 50 na.
What's the new look? Ready? Show us your new look. Your new look.
Hi, welcome, Duan.
Hi, Michelle.
Duan, yung pinaka-latest na nag-join as a member.
Hi, Agnes.
Buwan Dumas.
Duan Dumas.
This month.
50 screens. 50 na. 50 screens.
Alright.
Lily. Hello.
Bye-bye.
Meron Paris. Lily, madilim ang ano mo, madilim ang mukha mo because ang background mo is the window. So I think you have the window.
Hindi naririnig yung nag... Ano na yun?
Natin sa recording.
Sa pagkawa
And then,
na. Marap kasi.
narinig yan sa recording. Everything that happens on the screen.
Ready?
I-edit naman lahat yan.
Alright, it's 2:05. Maybe we can start.
Oh, yeah. 5 na.
2:05. So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we'll do away with the singing of the anthems, and perhaps if we still have time later, we can sing maybe just our UP Naming Mahal. So, we can start now. And yeah, so good afternoon, my dear UPAAT members. You can see me? So probably we can start muting everyone, Michelle, so that, you know, we can avoid unnecessary noises. Or maybe if you can please mute yourselves. Okay, so good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to our first and perhaps maybe not the last virtual annual general meeting. I'm Alice Herrera, and I will be your moderator for today. So we'll try to stick to the time allotment as much as possible. We shall be muting you all if possible to avoid unwelcome noise from the background. Should you want to comment or ask question, please use the chat box. Someone is monitoring that chat box and will either be responding to you or you will, or will be notifying myself or the speaker. So I'll turn over. The next item in the agenda is welcome remarks from our Vice President, Michelle. Michelle, go ahead. You're on mute.
Okay, thanks, Alice. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to everyone, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to UPAA Toronto's first virtual annual general meeting hosted by the UPAAT Council. As of 2:07 today, we have 54 participants, and this will be one of our most well-attended AGMs so far. So thank you everyone for coming to our meeting. At first, your council was quite apprehensive to call this AGM virtually. But after the Zoom Kapihan in June, there was overwhelming support to gather again virtually. We're all excited in preparing a day where all of us UPians can reconnect and find meaning in these very challenging times of COVID-19. We have a full-packed agenda this afternoon. We will look back at the events that happened in the past year with the President's report. We will also have the financial report by our treasurer. Every one of us will have a chance this afternoon to participate and vote in online polling during our meeting to assist Council in how the fund allocation will happen for future fundraising. Our membership report by the membership chair will deliver the status of our membership drive. You will be amazed how technology has driven our membership numbers for the past 2 years. We will also recognize and thank the council members who have completed their 3-year service to the UPAAT Council. I would like to acknowledge that we're very fortunate to have in our membership our tech team who made our online election happen, and we thank all of you who have voted and participated. I bet you're very excited to find out the results of our first ever online voting. Stay till the end as our COMELEC will reveal the election results towards the end of our meeting. I'd like to acknowledge and say hello our past UPAAT presidents, Tito Fred, Tita Boa, Tita Rose Tiang, Tito Bay Bernabe, Tita Linda Escorn, and Tito Joe Segala. Of course, we'd like to thank in advance and be inspired by our distinguished guest speaker, who we will hear shortly. I realize many of us came today to attend and to specifically listen to her. So without further ado, please grab your coffee, popcorn, or snacks and enjoy our 2020 AGM at Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Michelle, for that very inspiring welcome remarks. So I'll hand over for the next agenda. I'll hand it over to Dr. Mayrose Salvador, who will be introducing our guest speaker. Mayrose?
Thank you, Alice. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Many of us have been looking for inspirational role models, especially when we think certain positions or professions are not accessible to us. Role models pave the way, showing us that this is possible, and by sharing their experience, they can inspire us and guide us towards a successful career. And what better role model to introduce today than Dr. Eileen de Villa. Dr. Eileen de Villa is the Medical Officer of Health for the City of Toronto. She leads Toronto Public Health, Canada's largest local public health agency, which provides public health programs and services to 2.9 million residents. Prior to joining Toronto Public Health, Dr. de Villa served as the Medical Officer of Health of the Region of Peel, serving 1.4 million residents. Dr. de Villa received her degrees as Doctor of Medicine and Master of Health Sciences from the University of Toronto and holds a Master of Business Administration from the Schulich School of Business. She is also an adjunct professor at the Dalla Lana School of Health at the University of Toronto. And some of you might not know, she is a member of the Filipino community and the daughter of Dr. Guillermo de Villa and Dr. Nenet de Villa. Dr. Nenet is one of the distinguished member and supporter of the UPAA of Toronto. Finally, we all know that she has made weekly appearances on TV to inform and reassure Torontonians in this pandemic situation. So she really is the woman of the hour. Without further ado, let us give a warm welcome to Dr. Eileen de Villa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me all? If just
Yep.
somebody give me a thumbs up,
Yep.
we're good?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And you might have seen me. I was just here a few minutes ago. As you see, the job never really stops. That's the chair of the Board of Health texting me about what's happening with some of the COVID-19 situation and other things that are ongoing in our city here in Toronto. So if I've got it right, there are people from all over, right, in more than one time zone, right, which is why some of us are having coffee, some are having popcorn, and others may be already on their first, beer or whatever for the night. I'm not sure. Does that, am I right about that?
Yep.
Okay, and can I just get a sense, I want to make sure, if I'm going too long, because once I start talking, I admit I have a bit of an affliction, which might be the Pinay coming out, despite having really spent most of my life here in Toronto. Once I start going, I don't stop talking. So if you just give me the sign, okay? And certainly the subject of COVID-19 is one about which I can opine for an unbelievably long period of time. It has basically occupied almost every waking moment of mine since the beginning of this year. And so, as you can well imagine, I have much to say on this subject. So I will try to keep it light and interesting, but if I'm going on for too long, just say so, right? I don't mind feedback, certainly not audience feedback. So thank you again for inviting me to be with you here today. As you've just heard, I am the Medical Officer of Health for the City of Toronto. That means I lead Toronto Public Health, which is Canada's largest local public health agency. I have almost 1,800 staff working with me, and we are very proud to serve the residents of Toronto, almost 3 million of them. And we're responsible for ensuring that the programs, services and policies that we deliver and serve to create are actually protecting and promoting the health of everybody in Toronto. I want to say that, another very important component here, and I will raise this as we go through COVID-19, protecting and promoting the health of Torontonians and the work of public health is not just about, improving health status and for those who already enjoy good health. I think one of the key components here, and one of the messages I want to leave you with, is that, what's important in public health is that, yes, we raise the health status of the community, but the way we do this is not by just raising those who already enjoy good health, but seeking to reduce the inequities that exist in health status, reducing the gap between those who enjoy good health and those who don't. And this is one of the most important points that I think has come through our experience with COVID-19. It's interesting to me when we think about a city like Toronto, what really drives health status isn't usually infectious diseases, right? Communicable diseases, infectious diseases are perhaps more significant in parts of the world that would be characterized as developing. But in a country like Canada, we generally don't think about infectious diseases or communicable diseases because they're not the major drivers of health status in our setting. But it's interesting to me that it took a major infectious disease outbreak, in fact, it's a pandemic, to actually lay bare those issues that really are driving health status in this city and throughout this country. And what that has to do with is income disparities, housing disparities, disparities and inequities in the social determinants of health. We know that when we look at COVID-19, it has impacted hardest and has had the most negative outcomes for those who already are suffering on many, many other levels. Those who don't enjoy access to housing, those who have inadequate incomes, those who don't have strong social networks. These are the kinds of factors that have really come to light as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And these are the things that you will hear me speak about more and more, because I think that if we want to restore the many good things that we enjoy here and in many other parts of North America, we have to address these things, these inequities in the long run. That's what will bring good health, the best health for all of us, regardless of what our background is. So with that, let's get into the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, certainly we're all affected by it. The very fact that we're meeting by Zoom is just one, implication, one consequence of what COVID-19 has done to our community. An unprecedented global pandemic. And what an unusual place for me. I mean, this is life-changing. And my sincere hope is that when the history books are written, that, we will be remembered for having done the best we could with the knowledge we had at the time. And I think it's important to recognize that when we're talking about COVID-19 caused by SARS coronavirus 2, this is a new virus, completely unknown to us until early January of this year. And it has wreaked this kind of havoc. But I think the important part is that the science about the virus is still very much in development. We actually don't know everything there is to know about this virus because it was only discovered, sequenced on January the 12th, if I remember the date correctly. So we are really in the very early stages of learning about this virus. The science is unfolding. So anyone who tells you that they've got all the answers and shows no sense of humility, no sense of uncertainty, is lying. There is nothing really 100% certain here. There is so much that we're still learning. And I think we need to be, as true scientists, right, as people who are, privileged to have high-level education. You're the UP Alumni Association. We are all privileged, regardless of which branch you studied or what particular area of study you focused in. We have that higher level of education. And that higher level of education, if nothing else, should teach us to be humble in how little we know about so many things, and to spark that level of curiosity to constantly seek higher understanding. What we do know about COVID-19 is that it's primarily spread through contact with the respiratory droplets, and sometimes those droplets are quite small, of those who are infected with the virus. Often through their cough or sneeze, sometimes through when they talk, sometimes when they sing, all the activities that we do when we're in close proximity with each other, these are the activities that actually spread the respiratory droplets of somebody who is infected with SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 disease. And generally, we know that these droplets generally spread up to 6 feet or 2 meters. Again, this is one of those areas where the science is evolving. People are beginning to think that it may spread a little further or linger a little bit longer in the air than had originally thought. But we do know that keeping distance makes a difference. Physically distancing from other people makes a difference. We know that COVID-19 symptoms can include a number of things, and I'm just going to read this list because it's remarkable to me how varied the symptom presentation of COVID-19 is. Typical things, you know, of course, with respiratory virus would be some that you see with COVID-19 infection. Fever, cough, difficulty breathing, unexplained fatigue, headache, sore throat, and runny nose that doesn't fit with seasonal allergies. But as well, there have been some unusual things that we don't expect to see with a coronavirus. Loss of taste or smell, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Again, these are unusual symptoms of COVID-19, but they do happen and they have been reported to happen. And we see as well that in younger individuals, they are getting skin manifestations of disease. COVID toes was one of the things that was written up.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of specific case reports outlining those kinds of symptoms. But certainly anyone who has any one or more of the COVID-19 symptoms should go and get tested. And when you get tested, you should let people in your household know, one, that you're experiencing symptoms, two, that you're getting tested, and that they should also monitor themselves. Anyone that you have that level of close contact with, if you're suspecting that you may have COVID-19 yourself, individuals who live in your household should absolutely also be monitoring themselves for symptoms and watching to see how they feel. And they should get tested if they develop any of those symptoms. I think the interesting thing, though, of course, is that increasingly we are beginning to understand how significant pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic transmission of COVID-19 disease is as well. There are a number of people, and it's not, we still don't know what proportion, because of course it's constantly changing, and it takes time to compile together all the data. But we, you know, at the beginning we had thought, like most other coronaviruses, we had expected that this one would spread most effectively, and that most spread would be attributed to, you know, fairly symptomatic individuals. Increasingly, we are understanding that people are spreading disease before they develop symptoms. So they do eventually get symptoms, but they spread the disease before they even notice that they've got symptoms. And in some cases, they're actually spreading the disease without ever developing symptoms at all. And I think that's why we see so much activity all over the world. You know, case counts continue to rise. Millions of people around the world infected, and in fact, when you look at the doubling time of infections, it just gets faster and faster. I think it took 100 days to get to the first million cases, and it took about a month to get from 8 million cases to 9 million cases. So you can see that the transmission is really quite remarkable with this virus. And like many other viruses, it will mutate and change over time. And its natural desire, if I can give it human characteristics, is for the virus to become more and more transmissible. That's the biological imperative, right? All species want to reproduce and create more of themselves. That's the life force. That's the biological imperative of all species, and that includes organisms like bacteria and viruses. So I think these are important things to think about. We are making good progress here in Toronto and in Canada, I would say writ large, relative to many other places throughout the world.
Yeah.
And I think that comes because we are seeing really good commitment in general, really good participation from residents. And certainly in our city in Toronto, people are adhering to the advice. They're doing their best to stick to what we're advising them to do, as difficult as it is. We have had just over 15,000 cases over the course of the outbreak thus far in Toronto, and we have had more than 13,000 people, almost 14,000 people recover, thankfully, from COVID-19 in our city. And there are up and down every day fluctuations in our data, but we are absolutely seeing a decline in cases. One day earlier this week, we saw as few as 14 new cases in one day. So we have had some days where our increase day over day is quite low. So I can tell you that we are moving in the right direction thus far. We are providing information to our public, so I would encourage you, if you have a chance, to take a look at the Toronto Public Health website and follow our progress there. We have a monitoring dashboard that tells you how we're doing on the various indicators that we are following in order to understand whether our actions are having the desired impact. We know that yesterday, the vast majority of the province of Ontario moved into stage 3 of reopening. Much of the province of Ontario actually had relatively light activity when it comes to COVID-19, particularly when we look at the far north and more remote parts of the province. I think that when we look at the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, so the most populous areas of our province, we have all seen more activity. And I think the issue is that we are more densely populated. We have much more back and forth travel than certainly the more northern parts of the province, between our city and other cities in Canada, or our areas of this province and other parts of Canada, but certainly also much more international travel. We are also a densely packed city. So any jurisdiction that we have seen where populations are living in close proximity to each other, given the nature of this virus, that creates the kind of circumstance that the virus, thrives in and transmits in well. But I think that at the end of the day, what we are looking at is that we know that there are, physical distancing, washing your hands, staying home when you're sick, and when you can't physically distance, wearing a mask. These are the kinds of things that actually make a difference in reducing transmission, keeping our rates as low as possible. And I would just encourage you to recognize and to continue on doing all these actions, because our continued success will rest on our ability to stick to all these public health actions. What I've been saying to the public, when we were having daily briefings, now I'm down to twice a week briefings. But the message has always stayed consistent. And it is that if we want to get back to as close to pre-COVID life, as we can, whatever that, as close as we can get. I don't know that we're actually going to get to exactly pre-COVID life, in the near future. But I do think that we can get as close as possible to that. And our ability to do that rests on our ability to continue following public health advice and continuing implementing public health actions and measures every single day. Wash your hands, watch your distance, wear a mask. These are the things that we need to do, all of us, as much as possible, in order to try to get back as much as possible we can to our regular lives. and it's complicated, right? I think it has been very challenging for everybody. People have been trying to juggle work and homeschooling their kids, or at least helping them through online learning. And many of us have had to be separated from other family members. We couldn't actually connect with our social network. These are all very challenging things to manage. And as good and as wonderful as Zoom might be, it doesn't replace, right, in any real way, that connection that you get, right, the strength that you get from actual face-to-face, in-person communication, right? So, and I recognize this, and I feel for everybody, because I feel it too. So, you know, my plea to everybody is to try to do our best, you know, to try to take care of each other. Where we can, connect in person outside, where the risk is much lower, right? The risk of transmission, the risk of inadvertent transmission, because we know there's asymptomatic transmission. We know there is pre-symptomatic transmission. So even if you don't have symptoms of illness, you may unknowingly have an infection with COVID-19 and inadvertently spread to others. That's why that watching your distance, wearing a mask, washing your hands, these I cannot emphasize enough. All these measures are the kinds of things that really make a huge difference. You know, I won't belabor the point, and I can see that there are questions that are coming up, but and I'd rather have more of a dialogue. That's always far more interesting and engaging. I would encourage people just to really think about, you know, others around you, and to think not only of physical health, but of mental health as well, just given the challenges that we have as a community at this time. And for each of you, and for those that are around you, I do think that, you know, especially in North American society, we talk a lot about mental health, but don't necessarily really do things that support, you know, mental health amongst us. So if I can just leave you with 5 quick points in respect of trying to promote mental health amongst yourselves. Perhaps that's one way we can try to lift our community through this very challenging time. So, you know, first and foremost, and these are from, I mean, there are a number of different agencies that have promulgated these. I know that the Center for Addiction and Mental Health talks about these 5 steps towards mental wellness. It's kind of like, you know, for physical health, they say that have at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. Well, there's also 5 steps for mental health. And if you want to look at it that way, to say that, you know, you actually need your daily dose as well if we're to optimize mental health. So one is to connect with others, actually really connecting with people, right? We're social creatures. The more we're able to actually connect with each other, we know the better you're going to feel and the better mental health you will have. And it goes both ways, right? It's good for your mental health. It's also good for the mental health of the person who you're checking in with, particularly if that individual is isolated and can't get out. So I think connecting with others is very important. The second piece, you know, of the 5 is to be active. And this doesn't have to be a big production. Doesn't mean that you have to get, you know, kitted out with, you know, the latest running shoes or some really nice fancy gear or, you know, fancy equipment. You don't need any of that, right? Take the stairs, walk, right? These are simple ways. Park a little bit further away from your, you know, the main door of your destination and add a few extra steps to your day. These are very simple things that can be done. And I think there is a, you know, I know there is a growing body of evidence that talks about, or that focuses on the benefits of physical activity to mental health. These two are inextricably linked, and they do make a difference. Third is to try to learn something new every day. And again, this doesn't have to be a big production. When you're connecting with somebody, asking them a different question and finding out something new about somebody is just as much learning as anything else. So, or, and in this time of COVID, when many of us are somewhat restricted in our activities, reading the book that was on your, nightstand, waiting to be cracked open, now's a good time to do that.
Cross stitch.
I know that certainly COVID has seems to have elicited the baking skills, or awoken baking skills in many people. Actually, my neighbor has decided to became a baker over the course of COVID-19. So we keep getting treated with the latest sourdough recipes of his, which is always nice. So whatever your interests are, pursue them. If you have the time now, why not take that opportunity? Learning something new is actually really good for your mind and for your mental health. The fourth thing is to be mindful, to be aware and present where you are. Actually, this is one of those things that I notice is a difference between what I would characterize as Canadian culture and Filipino culture in the way I observe it. And I realize that I have this probably a bit of a funny vantage point, right? On the one hand, I feel very comfortable in the Philippines and I feel that I can kind of get into the mindset. But by the same token, I also recognize that, having spent the vast majority of my life in Canada, I'm pretty North American too. So from where I sit, what I think is very interesting is that I find that as Canadians, the Canadian culture and mindset is kind of like, let's work really hard now, we'll delay gratification for some later point, right? It's always, there's always, we're working towards something in the future, which is a good thing. It has there are good elements to that. But I think in the process of always working towards some goal in the future, we forget to enjoy today. My observation, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, maybe we take a Zoom vote, is that Filipinos are particularly good. Filipino culture is really good about enjoying what we have right now, right? Maybe almost too much. I'm not sure. maybe not always necessary, and maybe you need a little bit of both. Yes, a little bit of planning for the future, but also taking the time to appreciate what we have right now, right? There is something to be said about really savoring the present. And that is something that I really appreciate and value from Filipino culture. So to my mind, we need a little bit of both. Yes, some goal orientation. Yes, some thinking towards the future. But I would say that Canadian culture is deficient in that we don't take the time to appreciate what's in front of us right now and to really enjoy it. Because, as I get older, you start to really appreciate how short life really is and how much, the current time, like how valuable it is to, and how lucky we are to be able to enjoy what we have right now and how we should savor that more. So that's the fourth point. And the final and fifth fruit and vegetable equivalent for your mental health is giving back, right? That has also been increasingly studied in the literature. And we know that giving back to our community, giving back to others, actually is incredibly powerful and incredibly beneficial for your own mental health. So with that, I'm going to wrap up my remarks. Those are your mental health steps, your COVID steps. I think about the W's, right? Watch your distance, wash your hands, wear a mask, and work together. That's what we need to do as a community to see us through this very, very challenging time, which I know we will get through with some hard work and a little effort. So with that, I will wrap up my remarks. I see a list of questions coming. I'm not sure, did you want me to go through, or are you going to moderate the questions, or how would you like to do this?
I think May Rose can read the questions for you.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. de Villa. That was really inspirational and very informative. So in the interest of time, I will probably read just 2 questions with having a short answers. So
sure, I'll be short.
No, I mean, so you don't have to take so much time to answer it. So let's start with the last one. This is from Rodolfo Reventor. Tito Rodolfo. My grandkids are coming tonight for my 14-year-old granddaughter's birthday in the backyard. Can we hug them? We usually wear masks.
Okay, so the current rule in Ontario right now is to maintain a social circle, and the social circle is supposed to be of no more than 10 people. If the people are in your social circle, you may hug them. The ones who are not in your social circle, we are strongly recommending that you stay away from that for now. You know, there is risk. As I said, there is asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic transmission. So, and if you are of an age that you have grandchildren, by definition, you are at higher risk of infection. So my strong advice would be to, for those in your social circle, that's the whole benefit of the social circle. Those are the people you can have close physical contact with, outside of who's also in your household. So obviously the people you live with, you have lots of contact with. But the total circle of people is supposed to be no more than 10. Soon, I hope, we are getting to, you know, as we're making progress, we will hopefully be able to expand our social circle. But for now, 10 in the social circle. Everybody else, try to keep distance. As much as possible, and yes, absolutely being outdoors is much better in terms of risk. Much lower risk of transmission. Not zero, right? Especially if you get close. It's not zero risk, but it is definitely lower.
And so here's the next one. This is from Tita Lita Sagala. Being actor in the executive decision-making circle, can you give us idea if there is a discussion among city, provincial, or federal officials to deal more forcefully with people who disregard and openly go against the recommended steps such as wearing masks, therefore endangering other people, and oppose what officials like you are trying to do?
Yeah, so that is a constant subject of conversation. The challenge, of course, is you know, probably some of you saw that there was an individual it was in Mississauga, but at a grocery store who, right, everything's captured on video now, right? And there was a gentleman who really took issue with being asked to wear a mask and then went off on some rant, and it was all captured on video. And the challenge with that is that you never know, right, what kind of person you're dealing with, and you know what actions they may engage in. So what we generally tell people is to look, right, we're going to do our very best. We try to educate people, tell them what it is we're asking them to do and why, right? Why is it important? And our sincere hope is that most people, and this is exactly what we've seen, this has been borne out in real life and in practice, that most people do care about their community. Most people have no interest in spreading disease to other people. Most people are trying to make decisions that they believe make sense for themselves. So we're finding that people are generally finding the advice, or following the advice, excuse me. Are there some people who are going to, disregard the advice? Yes. But if they're small enough in number, we will still be okay, right? And we will just have to continue to try to encourage them. I've generally found that while there are some situations that benefit from enforcement activity, I find in general that people are more likely to follow your advice, follow your the rules, and follow what are the recommendations if they understand why they're being asked to do them, and if we show them understanding. If we yell at people, that generally doesn't make them any more likely to do what we want them to do. That's just human nature. So it is a very delicate balance, but it is always education first, and only when the violations are flagrant do we then start to move towards an enforcement approach, because we just don't find the aggressive sort of approach works very well. As I said, most people don't respond well to yelling or to what they see as attacks. It's more we try to go with the good side of human nature. We try to, appeal to that.
I think, yeah. And I believe there are still several questions, Dr. Eileen. So perhaps we can send them to you and perhaps we can request you for an answer to that so that.
Of course.
Okay, so, and yeah, and thank you very much for that very informative and very inspirational 5 tips to, steps to mental health and wellness. And as a way of our, hold on, let me share my screen.
There. Go.
So can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so yeah, so as a way of our thanks, we would like to present this certificate to you. And let me read it. University of the Philippines Alumni Association of Toronto awards this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Eileen de Villa for her inspirational message to UPAAT members during the first virtual annual general meeting held on July 18, 2020. Signed, truly yours, Alice Herrera. So we really appreciate what you're doing and advocating as Toronto's Medical Officer of Health. And you are really making us, the Filipino-Canadian, as well as Torontonians, proud. So thank you so much. And, you can feel free to stay and you're most welcome. But I know you're busy, so also feel free to drop out if you think you need to. So again, thank you very much. I'll be sending this appreciation and a small token of appreciation to your office, I guess. Or let me know if you'd like it for me to send it to your home. And the questions, I'll be sending it to Helen.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll be very happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. De Villa.
Stop sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And I will drop off. As I said, my board chair is texting me, so I better go and follow those things up. Thank you again, and I wish you all a very good meeting. And hopefully we will soon have you in a position where you can meet again in person.
Oh,
I know
great.
That's far more fulfilling.
Thank you so much, Dr. De Villa.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Yeah, let's give her a big hand. Maybe just show our hands because you're on mute.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so the next item in our agenda is already the official AGM. So we're going to start with our minutes of annual general meeting last year, and can I call on Natalie Wong to lead us to the reading of the minutes of 2019 AGM.
Sure, Alice, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our first virtual AGM. So I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about or present the minutes of the annual general meeting that was held last April 13, 2019 at the North York Civic Center in Yonge Street. So there were 43 members that attended our AGM last year, and President Alice Herrera called the meeting to order at 1:15 p.m.
Sorry, Natalie, can you see my screen or no?
No, I'm just reading.
Okay, I'll share also my screen. So, but
Okay.
please go on.
Yeah, no worries. There were seven agenda items that were discussed. So the first was the new member presentation, where there were 3 members who were welcomed and presented. The second was the presentation of the 2018 Annual General Meeting that was held on May 19, 2018. President Alice then gave a report on membership engagement, membership drive, and scholarships. So strategies were discussed regarding how to engage existing members and how to recruit for new members. The other discussion points were regarding to website development and surveys presented as strategies for engaging recruiting members. President Herrera also provided an update on the UPAAT scholarship funds. Vice President Michelle Monteljo presented the status of the UPAAT online business directory and presented what the rest of the UPAAT members were working on. President Herrera also acknowledged the contribution and thanked outgoing council members, which were composed of Mayor Salvador, Diana Roldan, Melanie Gilio, Cheryl Samson, Desh Santos, and Roy Gutierrez. The President's report was accepted by the members. Other agenda items included the membership drive and engagement report, where Mr. Ramirez, Pat Ramirez, our membership committee chair, provided a report on the number of current and lifetime members, that as well as expired, lapsed, and inactive members from 2016 to 2019. He also discussed various communication platforms that was implemented by the membership committee, and he also proposed to waive the payment of membership fees for newcomers who have applied with UPAAT within 6 months of newcomers' landing dates. This item was approved by the members that attended the event. Up next on the agenda was a presentation of the financial report. So this was presented by President Alice Herrera on behalf of the treasurer, who was not able to attend, and she reported on the financial statement for fiscal year ending December 31, 2018. President Herrera presented the available UPAAT funds and recommended next steps on how to make use of the available funds, and this as well was accepted by the members. Finally, we had the election of council members for 5 positions for 3-year terms. Jenna Bogiva was the chair, together with Bay Bernabe and Joe Zagala, were appointed to the Committee on Elections. 6 members were nominated to run for our council to serve a 3-year term, and they were Ramon Solis, Janet Tagasa, Agnes Manasan, Leo Mascareñas, Dr. Mayor Salvador, and Diana Roldan. Unfortunately, Agnes Manasan declined the nomination, and therefore the number of nominees were reduced to 5. And since there were 5 nominees for 5 positions, Chairwoman Jenna Bogiva claimed them all as winners. The other matters that were discussed, Marlene Mogado recommended that UPAAT should recognize gender and age balance when nominating and electing council members. This item was agreed by the members that were present, and thought it would be a great idea for UPAAT to develop a policy recognizing gender and age balance. And President Hera suggested that this could be explored further. Closing remarks was given by Tito Fred Gamboa, immediate past president, and thanked everyone who attended. The meeting was adjourned at 4:35. So I'd like to present the minutes to the group and motion for approval.
Okay.
So I can see, is there someone in the chat box or someone raising his hand?
Okay.
Tita Diana.
I move for the approval of the minutes.
So for the polls, and so that we can document, I think we have a poll for that. So Tita Michelle, so I need to stop sharing, right? Also, there's a poll. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So are you approving the minutes of the AGM? So 6, 10, 15, 17 have voted. Yes, yes, yes. Still no, no. So 44 of 57 have voted, so there's still more to vote, 45. So that's majority.
Beautiful. And great. And we have an approved
So,
2019 meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Do I end this polling? Okay. Okay, so for the next is, what's next? So it's next is introduction of new members by Pat Ramirez. So I'll stop sharing. Pat, you're on.
Hello po. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. So for the last years, hello po. So for the last year, since the last AGM, we have like 64 new members. Plus 2 new one today. And right now we have like 16 new members attending this meeting. And a good thing po is 4 out of the 7 nominees for the council were like new members. So I'll do this quick. I'll just mention the name and their campus and their course. So when your name is called, so hi na po siguro. Okay, first is Tita Nini Alvero, Diliman, Business Economics. Then Marcel Coro, Diliman, Economics. Sir JP Requejo, Diliman, Mechanical Engineering. Aryan Chang, Diliman, Architecture. Helen Valderrama, Diliman, Philosophy. And then Joel Mangajas and Margie Mangajas, Diliman, Philosophy. Then Shelly Saracen, Diliman, Tourism. And yung new members natin today, si Duan May Dumas and Lino Reno Meron. Si Duan ay Diliman, PomDev. Si Lino ay Diliman, Public Administration. And then from the Los Baños team, we have Rochelle Hizon, Los Baños Agricultural Economics. Ana Ponce de Leon, Los Baños Applied Math. And Giselle and Alan Abrujena, both civil engineering from Los Baños. And Russell De Castro, Los Baños Civil Engineering. And then Ivy De Castro, Los Baños DEDCO, at the back of Russell. So those are like the 16 new members attending this meeting.
So let's all welcome our new members. Clap, clap, clap. And yeah, if you can please show your video so that we can see also your face. And I'm not sure whether you are aware that this Zoom, like for example, there are 3 pages right now. So if you can't see them on the first page, go to the second page and then the third page. Okay, so our next will be actually a president's report, but you know, as part of my president's report, I usually have a video of you know, past activities. So it's only a 7-minute video, and so I'll share my screen first, and then share first, and then go. Huh? Yeah. Ito. Can you see my screen? Okay. So, palabas ko na. Double click daw, sabi ng Zoom. Can you see it? Okay, good. Okay, good.
Ready kita. Ready.
Morning, everyone. Third president of FCT. So if your bank account is a little lighter, mamaya alam namin yung gaming na yan. Sagot! Yes, sir.
Bago po, may experience ka po ba? Si JP Regay mo, JP po.
Magandang umaga po, Mark Garcia.
Morning, I'm Rachel Milagro. Hello. Hi,
Bitin na. Okay, so that's the short video. I hope you enjoy it. So I'll go straight to my report. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, Tita.
Okay. Ang hirap, parang wala akong kausap. Okay, so let me know. I can't see the chat box, so just in case may mga dumating na questions or comments, just let me know. And I think we have agreed among our presenters that you'll be giving me a 1-minute, warning kung masyadong mahaba na yung presentation. So, okay, so let me go to my President's report. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have categorized the activities that you have seen in the video according to membership engagement, networking, and online meetings. And so I considered under membership engagement activities like UPAAT picnic during our lakefront promenade, our dinner dance, and at Kapihan at Every Food. So those were really meant for membership engagement. And for networking, we have networked with Markham Filipino, MFFC, during the unveiling of Tito Mogi's Rizal at Markham. Also, networking is when we participate in our PCUA Summerfest and also our networking night with the Filipino Students Association of Toronto. So, as well as we also have online meetings, and we had two, our Chikahan and the impact of COVID-19 by Dr. Marcel. Moving on, we have the following UPAAT programs and projects: online business directory, website enhancement, creation of committees, and surveys. So I'll go one by one. For the online business directory, we have launched this during the 2018 AGM, and it became live on October 1st, 2018. We have raised about 6,820, not bad. And for, in response to COVID-19, I hope you have seen in our Google groups that we are offering for free to our UPAAT members with businesses so that, we can help them ramp up with their business that probably got impacted because of COVID-19. And then for website enhancement, I know Van has already listed some of the items that needs to be revised, edited, updated in our website. So as you can see, that picture was still like a long time ago. And, having or to create a committee for a website, that would mean, going in and improving all the items there. And as you know, early on, you have participated in a survey wherein it was asked whether, if you are if you're interested to join a committee, which committee is that? And so right now, we only have standing committees working. So we have, as per our constitution, so university relations, that's actually the scholarship committee. We have membership committee, which is really very much active, led by Pat Ramirez. We also have assets archival, which until now we're not successful, working on that committee. And of course, we have an elections committee headed by Marie Rosali. And we have created ad hoc committees. So these are the committees that we think should be created in order to engage our members. So we have finance and fundraising. So the name speaks for itself. It will, develop plans for fundraising and how to manage our funds. And then we also have a committee for socials and events. Ito yung ating chikahan, ito yung mga parties natin. And then we have education and awareness. So this would probably include plans for like career development or mentoring. And then we have a committee on promotions and publications where, we could include their website management. And then we do have IT technical and policy and guidelines. And so I've sent you guys, for those who have indicated interest to join a committee, I have sent you an email confirming whether you're still interested to join. And there were already several who responded that they're interested to join the committee. And so here they are, and I hope, please confirm if I made a mistake in understanding your response. But so far, for membership, we have Pat Ramirez, and I know this one is already his members, Gretchen and Jonathan Ursua. So finance and fundraising, dalawa pa lang yung nag-signify, si Michelle and Joel Mangahas. And then socials and events, we have Diana Roldan, Gretchen and Raisa Waikoko have indicated their interest to join that committee. And then for education and awareness, si Alex Pasqua, and I think they're here, Kachito, Helen Balderrama, Jess Perucho, Joel Mangahas, JP Requejo, Gretchen Mangahas. So for those who have indicated several committees, I have asked them whether they can still go for 2 committees, and if they said yes, I would list them down under those committees. So going forward, for promotions and publications, we have again Diana, Marie Masongsong, Rex Manasan, Gretchen Mangahas, and Tita Rose Tiham. Si Tita Rose Tiham, I might ask her to be advisor kasi past president, you know. And then for policy guidelines, these are the guys who indicated interest: Gary De Guzman, Helen Balderrama, Leonardo Santos, Luther Ramos, and si Tito Joe Sagala, who could really help you guys, and probably he could be in the advisory role. Okay, so any questions so far? That means none, so I'll go on. UPAAT committees. We have this IT technical who were responsible for our online business directory. Si Alfred Natal, si Pat, si Van Paglikawan, Faye Moncada, and Albert Reyes. And then for the next steps, we're planning to formalize the committees, maybe call a meeting, assign a chair, and then perhaps request those committees to prepare their objectives and activities, and then of course invite some more members. You know, the more the merrier. Like for example, socials and events. So many have, and even education and awareness, several have indicated interest, pero wala pa akong natanggap na confirmation from the others. So please, if you, I can send again the email just in case you've missed it or it went through your spam box. So yeah.
May I just have a comment?
Sure.
Yeah. I received the survey form, but and sent it back on Facebook. But it seems like my vote was not, was not.
Sa survey po?
Considered. Oo.
Survey yung sa AGM?
Oo.
I'll check kasi ma-check naman yung dahil may name.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was sent to me and then I sent it back.
Yeah.
Kasi di ba parang ano yun?
Yeah.
So, pwedeng i-check lang.
Yeah, sure. And that's a good segue, Miss Nini, because the next are, we'll be talking about the surveys, the AGM and the webinar. And I think this is the survey that you're referring to.
Probably.
Yeah,
Let me see. It was a survey that I filled out.
Yeah. So if you
where I would like to be involved.
Yeah. So if you put your name there, we would be able to track you down. Pero kasi yung iba hindi naglagay din ng pangalan eh. So
that's probably why. I don't remember now.
Okay, di bale. I can
I'll check it again.
Okay, we'll check it. Okay. So as you can see, when did you graduate from UP? Galing ng mga taga 1966 to 1980, they have participated in the surveys. We have very few 2011 to 2019, and of course, konti na lang ang ating before 1965. So, yeah, and then going further, the question on we plan to hold one Zoom webinar per month. So we're really trying to check with our members as to what topics or discussions they would want to be conducted in the future para sa activity natin, because I don't think we could have like a live activity in the next 3 months or 4 months. So you could see here that the number one is career development and mentoring, and as well as open discussion for new members, health and wellness, and financial planning. So I have lined up something in the next few slides. So with regards to just checking whether yung mga nagsasagot whether they have already arrived. So we would like to get the pulse of those newcomers, kung anong kailangan nila. But then yung mga sumagot maraming more than 7 years, but we were able to get some answers on the next question, which is for less than 5 years in Canada, do you need assistance? And many of you who answered, for those less than 5 years are, interested in networking and mentoring, and of course, job referral, and also community volunteer.
Alice?
Yes?
May I request that we see just one slide, the current slide, so that it's bigger?
Okay, so you are seeing, say that again?
Current in the next slide.
This one? Yan.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, you're seeing my I'm seeing another screen, that's why. Anyway, so the next slide is actually, next steps are for the webinars. So based on our survey, ito yung mga webinars na which got the highest number of votes. And, you know, I have placed some dates here, but these are still subject to council approval. So I guess the first item would be really an open discussion for newcomers, engaging the newcomers, or any discussion. We could perhaps set an agenda for that. And perhaps, you know, for those who will be announced as new council members, we could also include there the virtual oath-taking of new council members. So these are the webinars that are planned for the year, hopefully. But if it's too much, then perhaps we can plan it out for next year. So watch out for these announcements, and if you're interested to attend, then yeah, just we'll again send an invite for all of these webinars. And keep suggesting, recommending on topics that you would like us to coordinate for you. All right, so far no question. I'd like to acknowledge, the contribution of our outgoing council. So ito na yung mga nag-expire yung kanilang term for this year. So for the first two, Joseph and Natalie, they're up for re-election. And for the last three, thank you very much, Len Valdez, Paulina Corpus, I think Paulina is here, and Ramil Noche. So yeah, and just to let you know that the still continuing council are still 2 years: Dr. Meron Salvador, Diana, Tito Leo, Janet, and Mon Solis. And 1 year na lang kami nila Alice, nila Michelle, Pat, Van, and Alfred. So up na yung aming expired na kami next year. And then of course we saw several of our members left us last year, and just prepared a slide here in memoriam. And we have already during our Christmas party, we Tito Joe Sagala led us in paying our last respect. So the following have passed away. So Dom Mutok Villaflor, Dr. David Lim, Eddie Lee, Evelyn Juan, Consul General Rose Prospero, past President Henny Toribio, Terry Chua, and Vicky Mascardo. So I think this is my last slide. So time is it? So I might entertain 1 or 2 questions. So there are comments here. Oh. Okay, so there's a question here. Can you please speak more about the difference between standing and ad hoc committees? So standing committees are the real permanent committees. And, as the name implies of ad hoc, it's a temporary committee which can be dissolved or provide another and create another committee. But for standing committees, those are really dictated by our constitution. And 3 of the standing committees, the university relations, membership, and assets archival, should be led by a council member, while the elections committee should not be a council member. For ad hoc committees, they could be chaired by by council members, but we prefer to have also non-council member to chair those ad hoc committees. So si Tita Marie P, I agreed to policy and guidelines, so I'll list you down. So Pat, he just I'm interested to be part of the organizers of the career development webinar. Oh, sorry. So thanks, Pat. So no more questions, guys? We're good? Okay, so now a more interesting portion would be our... Oh, sorry. We have to... someone should move for the President's report to be approved. Anyone, please?
Hi, this is Paulina.
Yep.
Yes, okay. I second the motion.
Okay.
There's an approval here.
So you're moving for the president's report to be approved?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see. Michelle, are you ready with the next poll? Okay, 21, 28. 58 lang pala tayo. We're supposed to be 77. Alright, carried. 77% voted, 45. So thank you so much. President's report is approved. And now I'll share again my screen so I can call on Van, our treasurer, to report on our financial status. So let me just share again my screen. Where's the
Show all windows.
show all windows? Ito. Okay, so you can see my screen?
Yes, Tita, you're good.
Okay, yeah. So Van, can you see the screen? You can
Yes.
perhaps start. Okay.
Yes, okay pa. So, this is the treasurer's report. So, let's go to the first slide. So, the highlights would be the financial donations that came from the online business directory and Abot Kamay funds. And like the Christmas party generated $3,000. And the membership fees becoming significant because we have new members and some of those are renewing to lifetime membership. So this is the gross receipt for January to December 2019. Like this is the breakdown, and the total would be $17,780. So the majority came from the Christmas party. The next slide would have more details. So for the Christmas party, we had 9,530, and like the financial donations came from Abot Kamay funds, and that is 2,105, and then the online business directory, which is the 1,520, and we had 1,350 for the membership fees, and for other events, the Kapihan series had 1,790, and the PCUAA Summerfest $1,070, and the AGM $410. So next slide. So for the expenses, the total expense that we had was $12,793.50, and the majority would be from the Christmas party, and then other events and the miscellaneous. At the next slide would have more details. So for the expenses on the Christmas party, we had 6,600, and the other events for the Kapihan series 2,083, and the PCUAA Summerfest 2,130, and like the administrative expenses that we had for supplies and web subscription, which is 475, and the bank charges for 350. So the miscellaneous is the 998 for the red and memory flowers animations for the people that passed away. And actually we forgot to mention for Dr. Vicky Santiago, she contributed 1,200 for the Christmas party. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes. And for the financial status breakdown for December 31, 2019. So our cash as of the end of the year of 2018 was 26,054, and the cash we received from the previous slides that we've shown is 17,780.
Hindi ako naka-mute ha.
The cash disbursed or the expenses that we had is $12,794, and our net gain was $4,986. So the cash as of December 31 would be, December 31, 2019 would be $31,040. And as of today, from last year's cash, as of 2019, we received 6,900, and our expenses for the current year is 1,560. These are from the Kapihan in FD Foods, I believe. And then, so our total net gain would be 5,340. That amounts our cash for today to be 36,380. And this is the breakdown of the gross receipts for 2020. I think that's the last slide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we just wanted to emphasize that, you know, the donations that we got from Terry to us, it was donated to us for a scholarship. Just want to emphasize that. Yeah, I think that's the last. Any questions? So I'm just looking at the chat box and checking whether there are some questions.
Alice, I ask this every year.
Okay. Ano nga ba yun? Yung ano nga ba yun?
Do we have any outstanding payable?
Wala.
Receivables?
Wala din. Kasi alam kong tinatanong mo yan, kaya I make sure na wala talaga. Close ang for every year. So, si Tita Beth, I will volunteer for the archives. Yay! Ay, sorry. Anyway, may mga privately kasi. So, yeah. Any question? Anyone would like to move for the approval of the financial report? Okay, so let's do a poll. Are you approving the financial report? %73 voted. I think that's good enough. So approved. Thank you, Tita Agnes. Tita Agnes said, good job to the council. Keep your comments coming. So the next one is, I've been receiving some comments na, they don't know about our scholarship funds and ano daw yung status ng funds natin, kung nare-remit daw ba sa Pilipinas. So let me give you an update and where we are at of our scholarship funds. So let me share you my screen again. Let's do a 2 minutes break for those who wants to go to the washroom. I'm having problems looking for my scholarships report.
Miss Alice, I have downloaded it if you want me to share it.
Sa screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So share mo na, Van?
Okay, hold on.
Sige, thank you. Okay, so next slide, please. So right now, we have the following scholarship funds or professorial chair. So there's an endowment fund, and under the endowment fund, we have the scholarship, and then we have the professorial chair. And then there's another, naging nawala yung spelling ko, non-endowment fund. So yan naman sa scholarship. Hindi fund yan, it's a fund. And then there's another stream of funds, we call it abot kamay funds, and we could have like scholarship there and other UPAAT projects. Yung other UPAAT projects can be, another, just category, but I'll be explaining it to you later on. Next slide, please, Ms. Pan. Fun. So for endowment funds, as you know, this was started by Doc Mario and Doc Vicky in 2006. And I think even before 2006, nagkwekwentuhan kami ni Tito Bay last time. Sabi niya mga 1992, but we are going back on our records and we'll try to establish kung ano talaga yung kung kailan nag-start. And that was the time when they raised $25,000. And then in between, in 2008, an additional $10,000 was sent to the funds. So this $35,000 was converted to a scholarship and professorial chair endowment funds. And, you know, from 2006, nag-earn na yan eh. Kasi ang requirement lang noon sa scholarship funds, I believe, was 1 million for scholarship and for professorial chair, 1 million. And so, noong April 2010, that was the first time when we received an official financial status report from UP Foundation. So, yeah, pesos yan, Joseph. So, from April 2010, we already have a funds of 1,158,100, and then for professorial chair, 1,058,300. And then after that, additional 29,560 remitted between 2010 and 2012. I guess these were the proceeds from our UPAAT and other fundraising activities. Just to remind, yung endowment fund, ito yung may principal tayo na 1 million. I think yung mas maganda. Next slide siguro, Van, para makita nila. So, ito yung endowment fund. So, may balance tayo na 1 million. So, that's our principal. And then, nag-earn niya ng interest every year. And I think that's, ang kanilang sinusunod ng UP Foundation is about 3%. Pero yung, kumbaga, yung amount na ina-award natin sa scholars natin ay only supposed to be coming from the interest. Kaya nakikip na maintain pa natin yung pera natin. So, an example, as of April 2010 nga, sabi ko sa inyo, may 1.158 million tayo. And then, nag-contribute pa ulit ng 466,780. I think this was from the UPAAT. And during that year, an interest earned ng 29.5 thousand. And then, pero amount awarded is 50,000. Ang scholar natin is Lovely Chris L. Akiram. So, every year, nag-earn yung pera natin. And then, you know, we stopped sending contribution in 2012. And because we have, you know, meron pa tayong funds dyan, and then we entertained other types of funds, scholarship funds. So, you know, as years go by, lumaki yung pera natin, kasi ang laki din ng interest, no? And then, kunwari ito, 62 lang yung interest natin, pero 50 lang yung binigay natin sa scholars natin. So, we already had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scholars na naka-benefit ng ating scholarship funds endowment. So right now, our funds at UP Foundation is at 1.998919. So, malaking pera natin. That's the principal. And then going to the next slide, Van, is yung isa naman yung professorial chair. Ito yung parang ang hirap humanap ng recipient for this professorial chair. We started also with 1058. And then we only had like 2 recipients. I believe there were recipients from before in 2010 kasi nag-start off talaga to as professorial chair. That we need to go back and check our data or documents if ever we have any. So, you know, from 2010, only Dr. Gilda Rivero, 50,000, and si Vladimir Shuk, 50,000 ang naging recipient. That's why, you know, right now, malaki pa yung pera natin na nandun sa UP Foundation. It's about 2.229 million. So, I've asked UP Foundation kung bakit walang recipient. So, ang latest feedback, which was like 5 years ago, ang sabi yung 50,000 daw ay maliit kasi yung ibang funds nagbibigay ng 100,000 sa mga ibang recipients. So, doon daw sila nag-apply, no? So, but I think, you know, with the committees that will be created, we will really have to pinpoint on how we would deal with these amounts. So, yeah. So, those are the endowment fund, scholarship, and professorial chair. So, next slide, please. So, strategies for endowment funds. Maybe for the scholarship, maybe negotiate for 2 scholars when principal reaches 2.5 million. Kasi I believe, and Jenna, correct me if I'm wrong, during the time of Jenna, umakyat yung principal requirement eh. It should be 1.5 million for one scholar. So, we could perhaps negotiate pag 2.5 million, baka kaya na yung 2 scholars. And then, for professorial chair, we might really push UP Foundation to find recipients for our professorial chair. Or, UPAAT can use its own contacts to look for recipients. And then, we can also increase the fund amount of 50,000% to 100K per year. So those are all, for discussion, and we could decide on what to do with that. Next slide, please. So yung isa namang stream, ito naman yung non-endowment funds. Ito naman yung nadideplete na funds. So wala tong principal, hindi to, pag nagbigay tayo doon ng 150,000 pesos per student, nagagastos yan talaga per student at hindi nakakaroon ng interest. So, there was an MOU was signed in 2016, and then from then on, a total amount of 29,400, equivalent to 1.046400 was received by UP Foundation. And this amount originally was allocated for 7 scholars completing 3 years of university. That should be 150,000 per student. But right now, 7 scholars have already graduated, and we have additional 3 scholars in progress. So naging 10, and I'll show you how. Next slide, please, Van. So we have records. Yung UP Foundation naman, they're giving us status of the funds. Very good naman sila mag-report. So ito yung first 7 scholars, yan ay mga natanggap nila. So it's really not 150,000 kasi parang 4,000 pesos lang yung binibigay ng UP Foundation per month. So dahil may ibang scholars na hindi naman nila kinontinue yung 3 years, kumbaga 1 year lang sila, nagkaroon ng parang savings dun sa allotment nila. And that's why after the 7 scholars, we still had about 450,000 pesos. So I told them we really need to use that 450,000. And I think yung 450,000 pesos is equivalent to another 3 scholars. So UP Foundation agreed, and they got another 3 scholars. And in progress yan ngayon. Okay, so next. So abot endowment funds yan. Now abot kamay funds. Here's another stream of funds, no? There are 17 donors with an average contribution of 215 per month. So that's current. We have increased our, if you remember last year, 11 donors lang, pero we were able to increase it to 6 donors, and hopefully we can still increase this one. And as of July 29, we have a total contributions of 11,320. So wala pa dyan yung bank charges, and bank charges is a bit high. We are having bank charges of 1,400. So next slide would be, abot kamay funds. We have this Abed, Ding Simbulan, Tito Bay, and Benji, Beth Vasquez, Jose and Joe Zaraga, Diane and Fred Gamboa, Lita and Joe Sagala, Mary Ann San Juan, Natalie Wong, Rene Sevilla, Rose Nagalio, and the additional were Alex and Rosario Pascua, Fanny and Ben Kalukag, Agnes, Tita Agnes and Rex Manasan, myself, si Tita Rose Tiham, she's giving like a one-time, nagbigay na siya ng $100, and that would be for the whole year. And Noel Cruz also gave one time. Sorry, I know we have new members here. Abot kamay funds donors. Ito yung, it's an electronic fund transfer. You just signify, or you give us approval that we can get like $10 from your bank account every month. So, hindi nyo na mararamdaman yung $10, mararamdaman nyo after 2 years na kapag contribute na pala kayo ng about $240. So, yan yung abot kamay funds. So, that's why 215 up to present, 11,000 na rin naipon natin for that. So, okay. So, next slide. And then, funds availability. Right now, so I'm going to talk, supposed to be continuation from our financial report. So, let's talk about funds availability. So you've seen a while ago from Treasurer's report, as of today, our balance is about 36,400. We need to really put really good use for our money. And so we are setting aside about 3,000 for UPAAT expenses. Set aside lang naman 3,000. We would have now 33,400 available. And then we have committed 3 UPLB scholars. This was pre-COVID. So this one is also about 4,500 for each scholar. So parang pareho lang din dun sa mga nakakatanggap nung ating non-endowment. The reason why UPLB, kasi yung non-endowment natin, puro UP Diliman. And then when someone from UPLB came here and I've met them sa consulate, that was the idea. An idea came that, why not get 3 UPLB scholars? So we were able to get committed about 3 from UPLB naman. And so deducting that from the 33,400, we have available funds of 19,900. So the council would still need to discuss on how, or that committee could recommend of how we could use this 19,900. But right now I have, next slide, Ms. Van, just listed some of the options, and we could probably take a poll for this one. So just let me discuss first. So these are the recommendations. We could either go additional scholars, we can add non-endowment scholars, and then maybe we could also entertain some UP projects, we could, request for proposals if they need, some of our campuses might need some laboratory equipment, or maybe we can fund research projects, or we can do facility improvement. And I have an updated PowerPoint. That's why there's another thing that came in from no less than the president from UP, and they're inviting us for a webinar next week. They're launching a new fundraising campaign called Kaagapay sa Pag-aaral. So I think the idea there is, they will be providing assistance to financially challenged students who are, yung mga walang laptop, yung walang access sa internet. Kasi, going forward, they might be doing virtual education as well. And so I've added there as one of the UP projects, yung Kaagapay nga, no? And we'll still need to find out the details for that. And of course, we could also entertain some Filipino-Canadian student projects. We are currently doing networking, pero konti pa rin lang naman yung gastos doon. But we can entertain some projects from those students. So, it's all up in the air. And perhaps, as a way of checking your thoughts on this, Michelle also prepared another poll, and just wanting to check your pulse on how we would use our funds. You can just, select your top. I don't think we can select 3, but maybe your top recommendation, and we'll consider that. Okay, so I think the polling has begun. So you can select additional non-endowment scholars, provision of lab equipment, funding research projects, kaagapay sa pag-aaral, Filipino-Canadian student projects. And we could also do a formal survey in order to get the pulse of our membership. So there are 38 of 57. Perhaps we can increase the votes. 40 now, out of 57. Yeah, you can only choose one in the poll, sorry. Maybe maybe another survey another survey monkey can be sent, and perhaps we can do it formally. All right, so I think the interest of people right now attending are, kaagapay sa pag-aaral. I think this one is mostly, because, paano ba yun? Well representative of the times right now, and then additional non-endowment scholars. I'll take a screenshot para dito. Okay. All right. So, and polling and yeah. Thank you so much. I'm going to read the comments. Shelly, pwede din po fund. Okay. So, Tita Maripi said the professorial chairs and scholarships were started under Dr. Vicky. Then sometimes the amount was topped up, so we are funds interest would increase. So I think you can ask Vicky about the history. Yeah, Tita Maripi, nag-usap na rin kami ni Tito Bay and he has given me some notes on that. I think there was a time na hindi nagkaintindihan na, ginagamit ng UP Foundation yung funds na nadideplete na hindi nila naintindihan na interest lang dapat yung gagamitin. But that was rectified and that's why we were able to get that money. Yeah, and for assets archival, I think that's one of the main tasks that committee should be doing right now would be, collecting materials in order to support some of this, details that we need. So si Tita Beth, so why don't we increase the peso we are giving the scholars? We have so much money just sitting idle. Yep. Can we send, si Rod Rebentar, can we send the UPAA Toronto pin to our scholars? Yeah, why not? Good suggestion. Or maybe a t-shirt. Dami nating t-shirt pa. Tito Delphine, okay. And then Helen Valderrama, question, professorial chairs, is that for international scholars coming to UP or UP scholars coming to Toronto? No, those are UP professors in different colleges in the university which they can avail of that professorial chair. May mga professors kasing gumagawa ng research projects and they need some funds for that. Okay. Si Jenna pala answered na. That's awarded to local UP professors. So from Paulina, how about community initiatives here? Responsible citizenship role of UPAAT is advancing our Filipino heritage. Yeah, if you can think of some projects, Paulina, you can perhaps, send us a proposal and then we can check it out. See, Nini Alvero, are we able to track the career of scholars who have graduated? Yeah. One of our scholars is MJ Geronimo. She's a member of our UPFB, and she's now with GMA News, and I think she's a very good anchor person or, doing a newscasting job. So sabi naman ni Joseph, if we can donate it to purchase equipment, mas maraming students na magbe-benefit. Maybe we can revisit Tita Agnes naman, maybe we can revisit the letter of request for assistance by the College of Social Work and CD. Ang tagal na nito, Tita Agnes UP Diliman. Last year, it was a project to provide support. So, you know what? The next step would really be to form this committee again, and then we could create a criteria for those projects on how we would, mahirap naman, hindi naman natin kaya lahat na 19,900, hindi natin kaya ipondo lahat yun. So, we'll set up a criteria kung sino yung pinaka pwedeng bigyan ng assistance. Any more comments before we go to the next? So next is just a membership status report by Pat. So I think I can take over here. I think I've seen him. I'll share screen and yeah, share. So Pat, are you good? Just let me know.
Hello po ulit. Membership update lang po. Actually, run through the numbers, so mabilis lang po ito. So, the first slide shown here is the general membership, not by the numbers. So, comparing with the previous years, 2017, 2018, 2019, and then right now, 2020, the numbers here are recorded every AGM. So, itong 2020 ito is as of today. So, sa membership committee, we simplified na rin yung definitions. Is either you're active, or you have a current membership, you have a lifetime membership, or an expired membership. So para simple na lang din yung process. So if you're going to compare your numbers, so for 2020, okay, mostly green lahat because active is increased up to 126 from 69, and then the lifetime increased also from 123 to 136. And then yung expired, ito yung mga before ay lapsed then and inactive, considered inactive, but then we label them as expired kasi we hope that they would want to renew their membership. So from 223 to 197. So malaki rin yung marami rin nag-renew na membership dahil dun sa election.
Yep.
Kasi we gave out codes to all the members even though expired yung membership nila to give them chance, para come on mag-renew sila so they can vote. So that's why yung numbers ay bumaba to 197. So right now, meron tayong 64 new members, just the all-time high. Actually 66 kasi may dalawang bago today. So welcome sa kanila. Yay! So Diliman, yung demographic lang nila, majority pa rin is Diliman. And then second is Los Baños, 17. And then may paisa-isa from Manila, Baguio, Mindanao, and Clark. So we have like six new members from those campuses. And then in terms of age, by the grad year, so medyo diverse din yung membership natin. So from less than 2,000, mga 19 something to 2,000. Among those 64 ay 20. Then between grad year na 2000 to 2010, 27, and then marami tayong batang-batang mga members. So 2010 above, 17. And then in terms of where they are in the GTA area, majority are in the Toronto area. Then 23 in east, north, and northeast. And on the west side, around 30. Next slide po. So sa membership, ang goal namin is to like naturalize the process. So parang natural na lang yung mga nangyayari na na-invite, and then may process na in place. So well, thankfully din sa technology natin, lahat, everything online, within the payment. And kailangan lang bali is yung and I would like to thank din yung entire membership because yung number of membership na 64 new members, 66 new members ay dahil na rin sa lahat kasi they're sharing like the good words about our association. We're gaining more publicity and everything. And that's the good thing kasi i-refer lang sila sa membership committee and then here they are. So members na sila. So I would like to call for the members to invite more. So just share the word and refer potential new members to the membership committee. You can either invite them to the Facebook group or tell them about the email address of membership, upat.membership@gmail.com. And as of last year, yung proposal is still in effect, yung 1-year free membership to newcomers. So actually out of 264, a good percentage are newcomers. So it's a good way then to help them, like, to adjust, and it's better to be with somebody that, parehas na UP. So welcome sila din sa UP. Okay, the next, reminders lang. So we're having what do you call this, like difficulty in reaching out to the members because sometimes yung email address nila ay hindi na active, or minsan they will say we will receive feedback that they don't receive the invitation or everything. So just make sure that if you know somebody who's not receiving invitations via e-bite or our communication platform, upat@googlегroups.com, then just please let the membership committee know. So contact us at upat.membership@gmail.com. So yun lang po. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. And also, we would like to advertise that we have also a new account sa Instagram. And si Diana posted something from Instagram this morning about our guest speaker and about our AGM. And I think from that, we were able to get 2 new members today. So, Mantequeño, we had a new member just an hour ago. I think he's Mr. Dimas. So, not sure about the other one. So, I guess we're now into, what we're all been waiting for would be the presentation of the new council members. So, I'll share my screen again and would call on Chair Marie Chris Rosali to provide us with the results of the first online election.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marie Chris Rosali. Can you hear me, Alice?
Yep.
I can see the screen.
Yeah, you can. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So first of all, I would like to tip my hat off to Alice, Pat, and everyone in the council for doing a very good job. Like all these reports that I've seen, very impressed really.
Thank you.
Sa trabaho ng council. And also, I would like to say it's very nice to see familiar faces. I miss you guys. I haven't seen you for a while, and to see new faces as well. Today, I am tasked with, in behalf of the other COMELEC members, Agnes Manasan and Rose Mangalio, to relay the results of the UPAAT first ever online voting. And again, thanks to Pat and the technical team for doing a good job with preparing this online voting, and I feel that it went smoothly. So, as you know, the vote started on July 6th at 8 a.m. and opened for a week, closed at midnight of July the 12th. And after the vote was closed, COMELEC tallied and validated the results. So let me summarize for you. The total number of valid voters are 261 as per the membership committee. There were 113 total counted votes. 5 were rejected, either by duplication or invalid unholds. And the turnout was around 43.3%. So I would like to remind you who our candidates were. So first off, there was Maria Roseni Nini Mendoza Alvaro. Second, we had Ana Florence Ponce de Leon. And then we had Gretchen Mangajas. And may Tukaya Marie Zelna Magno Masunsong. Joseph Redoblado. Shelly Jo Rojas Sarasin. Natalie Bisnar Wong. And now, without further ado, I would like to announce the 5 council members, the result of the voting. So, number 1, we have Maria Roseni Nini Alvaro. Second, Gretchen Mangajas.
Tagapalakpak na lang ako.
Joseph Redoblado. Fourth, Natalie Bisnar Wong. And the 5th, Ana Florence Ponce de Leon. Congratulations to our dear council members. Thank you very much again for voting. I turn it over to Alice for the final remarks.
Yeah, so congratulations to the 5 new council members, and to Marie Masungsong and Shelly Sarasin. Wag pa kayo mag-relax kasi you might be assigned to chair one of the committees. So, and watch out also, we might have like a virtual oath taking for the new council members. So watch out for that invite. So, I'm reading again some of your comments. Again, congratulations to everyone, to the new council members. And hindi expired, as in not leaving. So, explain. Expired as expired membership. Okay. Okay, so good job. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marie. So Marie was also giving us a day-to-day report on how many have voted, and it was good. You know, right from day one, I think we already had like 35, Marie, no? So yeah, and then yeah, thank you, Tita Esther.
Yeah, we had a good turnout. Very good turnout.
Yeah, good turnout. So we might be having this next year as well, di ba? Kasi 100 din bumoto para mabigyan ng chance lahat ng bumoto. So, Tita Esther, thank you very much. Congratulations to the all new board members. Tito Rod, Reventar, good job for the year. Alice and your team. Jenna, well done, Council and COMELEC. Thank you for the outgoing council members and congratulations to the incoming. Helen, congrats to all candidates and the new council members. Paulina also says congrats to everyone. Tita Beth, also congratulations to everyone. Juicy, maraming salamat po. We'll continue to serve as the council. Congrats to all. Congratulations. From Marie Masugsong. And Marie, you're not yet off the hook. Esther Toribio, successful AGM. Congrats to the council and the energetic president. Thank you. And of course, congratulations to the new council members. So any more comments? You know what? We might want to have for the next AGM also very good attendance right now, although there are 61, 77 has signified, pero baka they had other things to do, that's why. But before we go, I'll call on Tito Fred Gamboa, who is also our immediate past president and ex-officio, to give us the closing remarks. But perhaps maybe after Tito Fred's remarks, we can still stay behind for those who we can do some chikahan. Tito Fred?
Thank you, Alice. On behalf of UPAA, I'd like to thank everybody for joining our virtual AGM, a big departure from previous AGMs that we had, nonetheless a well-attended one. A big thank you to our distinguished guest and speaker, Dr. Eileen de Villa. Thank you, Doctor, for the very informative insights related to the current pandemic. We all know that COVID will be around for a long time, and it's good for us to follow the basic guidelines that the good doctor had mentioned earlier. Washing of hands, wearing appropriate face masks, and maintaining social distance. Thank you very much to all the members that stood for the 5 vacant positions in the council. Congratulations to the 5 that made it, the medical 5, and for those who didn't, as President Herrera said, be assured that you'll be asked to serve in the council in various capacities.
Yep.
And finally, congratulations to the officers led by our indefatigable President Herrera for a job well done, very successful AGM, virtual AGM.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next year, and hopefully in a different setting, in a different circumstance. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. And
May I say something lang?
Sure.
Okay, before we end, I'd like to thank everyone, the COMELEC, especially Marie, the officers of UPAA, for this wonderful opportunity for me to be able to serve our organization. I see great enthusiasm from the membership of this organization.
Yeah.
And I really think, what I feel now is that I'm going to fill a very big pair of shoes that would be vacated by the exiting council members, as well as the high standards of the current members. After the very impressive report of the president and the relevant committee members, I can see that this is a very cutting-edge organization with very dedicated officers, and all I can say is that I'd like to express my commitment to serve the members of this UPAAT Toronto in the best of my ability. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Any other council members would like to give a note? O Joseph, baka gusto mo mag-juke. So,
Hello.
yeah, we can now unmute yourself and we can talk all at the same time now.
No, let's not forget the contribution of Michelle providing this Zoom platform for
Yeah.
this.
Yes. Yes.
Salamat, Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Without Michelle, wala tayong Zoom.
Good thing there's no technical difficulty today.
Ay, wala nga.
Oo na.
Yeah, I was worried kasi minsan yung internet ko nagkakaroon ng lapse minsan eh. So, buti nakaano ngayon.
Kailangan, Alice, gasusin na natin yung 36,000. Magpa-party tayo.
19,900 lang kasi nakakommit na yung iba eh. Saan tayo magpa-party ngayon? Pero hopefully yung iba, you can still sign up for the committees. Yung mga hindi naman sumagot dun sa surveys pero yung interested to join a committee, talagang we'll have these committees very active. And kasi nga may Zoom na eh, no? Maski nga kung 5 lang kayo o 6, pwede nang sa Messenger, sa FB, pwede na mag-usap doon eh. So, mas madali nang, wala nang excuse na hindi maka-attend ng committee kasi hindi makapunta sa meeting, pero, online, kahit naka-pajama ka, pwede na kayong mag-meeting.
Wearing shorts right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Alice, I forgot the list of ad hoc committees that exist right now, but is there an endowment ad hoc committee?
Yeah, the university. Ang tawag doon yung university relations as per our... Yeah. And I'll list you down, Jenna.
Not yet.
Wala ba tayong merienda?
Ang... Sarap na. Oy, Joseph, asa na yung saymada mo?
Saymada daw si Joseph.
Joseph, mag-cater ka. May 19,000 tayo.
Mandarin kayo.
May Mandarin naman, Tita Esther. Yan ang kagandahan din, di ba? Walang gastos. Walang isipin kung anong ihahanda na merienda. Wala tayong registration fee. May registration fee, pero... Po, Tito Bay. Yes, Tito Bay.
I just want to focus on one very, very revealing part of your presentation, and that's the scholarship program that we have. Ang nakita ko dun sa mga lalo na dun sa non-endowment, many of them are cum laude.
Yeah.
Almost all of them, I think. And that's a very, I would say, laudable accomplishment. Maybe it was not us who made the choices, but at least UP Foundation is just focused on the right direction right now. We had some problems with UP Foundation in the past, and I think that right now we are actually in very good communication with them. To the point that we really have to make sure malaki na itong ating pondo. And you're right, we might be able to not only support one scholar dun sa endowment natin, it could be 2 or maybe even more, depending on how the earnings come out.
Yeah.
But I just want to give my encouragement to you guys. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's really making a dent. It's really making some kind of a statement, maybe to the other UP alumni schools all over the world.
Yeah, I would
Congratulations to
like
all of
to-
you guys.
I would like to add to that, to what Bai had just said. Indeed, the communication between UPA Toronto and the UP Foundation of the past several years has improved a lot. There was a time, even during my term, we had a problem of communicating with the foundation. They were not proactive. They were not even reactive to our email requests. But I guess it's a question of really just continuing to push on and communicate to them. What I'd like to do at this time is really try to find out from UP Foundation what are the criteria for awarding, because as noted by Bai, 4 or 5 of the 7 who received our scholarship
Cum laude.
funds were or are cum laudes or magna cum laudes. I was wondering if part of the criteria that the UP Foundation is using gives regard to the financial need of the scholars.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we really wanted to do is not only to help those that are endowed with brilliancy, but also those who are in financial need.
Yeah.
Who may or may not graduate cum laude, but at least graduate or go through this tertiary education that we really want them to do. I was wondering if President Alice would kindly ask the foundation to give you a list of the criteria, because to me it's very important that we are able to help and assist those people who are really in financial need.
Number 1 criteria yung yung pinaka ang tawag doon yung remuneration ng mga magulang nila, yung financial status talaga nila. There's a threshold there. So yun yung number 1. At saka lahat yan dumadaan sa Board of Regents. So meron silang stringent criteria. Tita Maripi, you're raising your hands.
Ali?
Teka po, si Tita Maripi muna. Let's give a chance to Tita Maripi.
Yeah, scholarship fund is really a misnomer because it's really more of a bursary. So, what so right? Because it's meant for
Hindi ka masyadong marinig, Tita Maripi.
Full na yung ano ko. No, as I was saying, scholarship fund is really a misnomer because it's not a scholarship that we're giving. It's financial assistance. So we do not require the students to meet, there's no grade requirement.
There is.
And we're not expecting them to graduate as cum laude, etc. But of course, that's nice that through our financial assistance, we were able to, get them to continue to study. But it's more and that has been all pinpointed in the past.
Yeah. So I'll confirm the criteria, pero I know yung ano ng magulang, ang tawag ba doon? Yung income ng mga magulang at saka grade. Non-endowment at endowment fund has grade threshold, pero yung non-endowment fund we relaxed a little bit on the grade requirement. Yes, Tito Bay.
Go to school, they have to continue studying, not drop out,
Yeah. Tito Bay. Teka lang. Tito Bay and then Helen. Ikaw ba yung isa Tito Bay muna.
Let me just point out, Alice, early on during the time when we had this initial amounts already. But when we started that 25,000 that was shared by Dr. Mario and Dr. Vicky, we made it a point. We talked to Jerry Agulto many times to make sure that the principal is not going to be touched. And on top of that, also, we made it a point that, although I can't really go to some documentation now because my archives, the ones that I have here, really, is spotty. Regardless, we made it a point that the scholars in the endowment scholarship we're giving will be the number one criteria is that the student is in dire need of funding and that he has to submit his qualifications, meaning to say that it's something that he will be able to use continuously until he graduates. So, in effect, the student has to make sure that he has acceptable grades. But those students need not be cum laude material all the time. It's important enough that they are serious about getting their degrees, and we are there to help them simply because they don't have the financial means to move forward with that work.
That's spelled out sa memorandum natin. Tita,
Can I have just one statement about membership?
may nakapila po, Tita Daisy. I'll call you again, ha? Pwede si Helen muna?
Okay.
Okay.
Just ano lang po, suggestions dun sa promotion ng scholarships, pati na ho yung professorial chair.
Yep.
It would be great kung we can invite them, for example, to speak and meet the members, or share what they have achieved with the scholarship, with the support of UPAAT, because that can maybe help us promote for the next year or the next cycle, right? It's part of the prestige as well of the scholarship.
Yeah. And right now we have virtual, so I guess we can just arrange the time na hindi masyado maaga sa kanila na pwede sa Pilipinas, no? But if you'd like to know, meron tayo sa website na mga video snippets nila na they're relating on how they were using our funds to help them out. So go to our website and nandun lahat ng video. Teka muna, nakita ko si Jenna raising her hand, but sige, Tita Daisy muna on membership.
Okay. Based on what I saw and what I've been observing, commendable ang trajectory ng cycle of membership. So congratulations. I can see this trajectory ng recruitment, participation, and retention. Congratulations to everybody. Pat, and of course the president, executive. Ang galing. Because masyado akong observant about this because it's an area of interest for membership. Thank you.
I think lahat tayo has a role to play para pagandahin yung UPAAT so that, we can entice more members. Kung maganda yung ating organization, maraming sasali sa atin. So, next is Jenna.
Yeah, I want to echo what Tita Daisy said and what everyone said. Well done to all the council members, especially the officers. And thank you to all outgoing and congratulations to all incoming. My comment was about the endowment, the criteria for endowment funds or even the non-endowment, whoever is coming up with the criteria. So it's great that we're going to have that conversation with them. I think it's very, very important right now to understand what the needs are and what the changes are in their needs because of COVID. And if there's going to be more online learning that would be implemented. I don't know what kind of financial assistance this post-COVID era is going to look like for students. So that's very, very critical. And also to find out if, aside from students or professors, does UP need help? Does it need critical help in other areas of the university? Again, it's dependent on what the changes are going to be looking like post-COVID.
I think their response to post-COVID, yun nga yung ini-invite tayo for a launch yung kanilang kaagapay sa pag-aaral. I think they'll be, I still don't have the details for that, but there will be a webinar coming Tuesday doon, pero Monday night dito. So, yeah, we will find out kung anong details. But the essence of that is, providing laptops. Kasi nga kung virtual, not all students have laptops. So, tingnan lang natin yung mechanism kung paano natin ma-flow if ever ma-decide nating magbigay tayo doon. Kung paano natin ma-flow. Maybe we can indicate like we can provide financial assistance to 20 students for laptops. So, baka pwedeng lagyan din nila ng pangalan yung laptop na donated by UPAA Toronto.
Yeah, and I guess for our own interests as well, given that we're in this Zoom age now,
yeah,
maybe we can have a personal, like a one-on-one with UP Foundation on a regular basis, maybe on a quarterly basis with them, just so we're more updated.
Yep.
That I guess more people from UPAA can join in and find out what the updates are from their end.
Okay. We can invite Professor Agulto to provide us some update. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Like real-time updates.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm just writing down, kaya nakatungo ko. Tinusulat ko lang lahat ng mga suggestions nyo. And I guess, tinutulungan ako ni Janet. Andiyan ka pa, Miss Janet. Yay! Thank you. So, any more comments? This is a good discussion. So,
Let's have more scholars. That's my suggestion.
More scholars.
Because we have so much money, it's just, why is it just sitting idly? We need to help more people, more students. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Sabay kain.
Tita Diana, I see you're raising your hand. I'm not going to the second page. Baka may nagre-raise ng hands. Okay, Tita Diana.
Diana.
How are scholars chosen?
By the Board of Regents. They apply, they submit their requirements, and I think yung income ang isa. And then they need to have yung grade requirements. Kaya may ibang scholars na nagfo-fall off dahil hindi nila ma-maintain yung requirements sa grade. And that's why given na yung iba, because they can maintain their grades, they were able to graduate as cum laude or magna cum laude.
Okay. Now, considering that we are expanding the scholarships to youth Los Baños, why are we not able to do that with the other branches of the university, the other provinces?
Yeah, we can do that. It so happened na nakamit lang ako ng UPLB, but that was already discussed also sa council na baka pwede tayong pumunta sa ibang UP. But then yung recommendation ng council is to first go to UP Foundation and check whether yung UP Foundation ay nagbibigay din. Kasi bakit puro UP Diliman nga yung binibigay nilang scholar, di ba? So sabi ni Prof. Agulto, they can still also coordinate with us if we want someone from other campuses, then they can coordinate that.
Correct. Or tayo na mag-reach out dun sa ibang universities, ibang branches, because they may not know that we have scholarship. The funds are available.
Yeah, but then they can, in order for them to receive the award, they need to apply din sa UP Foundation, sa Board of Regents. So, dun din galing yung mga scholars. The thing is, if we're going, may nag-feedback.
They're using, baka naman sobra yung criteria na very strict. It's our money.
Yeah.
We can have
we can always indicate, we can always tell them na, yung kaya nga yung non-endowment fund, ay yung isa, we relax a little bit on the grade requirements.
Yeah,
kung yung grade requirements,
is the main. Ang laki ng pera na yon na natutulog.
Ay, kasi principal nga, hindi nila pwedeng magalaw yon.
Change it, I think.
Yeah, that's why we're still negotiating.
I don't know. It's just a thought that ang laki-laki ng pera natin natutulog. Ang dami-dami nangangailangan tao.
Okay.
Right?
How many can we afford out of the interest?
Actually, hindi malaki yun eh.
Hindi malaki? Ang binibigay lang natin, bakit 50,000 lang? Ano yun? 50,000 pesos is nothing.
Okay, kasi yung non-endowment, yung interest lang ang gumagana doon. So, kaya lang siya lumaki kasi...
It's time to rethink the whole thing, I think. My suggestion.
Yeah, Tito Bay.
No, actually,
let me just point out. Let me just point this out. The Dr. Santiago gave in the 90s 10,000 or 15,000. The same thing for the professor for the scholarship and the professorial chair. In less than 6 years, because they dipped into the principal, there was hardly any money left. That's what we don't like to happen with our scholarship endowment. We want to make sure that forever we're helping somebody. It's better for us to help 50 people or 50 students over a span of 50 years than to spend and finish it all up over a span of 5 years or 10 years of gusto yung pera natin. The concept of the endowment is really to make sure that this money is there for a long time. Now, Alice is not really limited to doing that because she has her non-endowment scholars, the bursaries that she is awarding now. So, as far as that's concerned, we're covering both grounds.
Tita Maripi. Lapit ka ng konti, Tita Maripi, hindi ka maintindihan. Yeah.
I think one solution would increase the money in our abot kamay because we have more control over that fund.
Yeah. That's another way.
The foundation does not want to you know, the money can come from
Paki-mute pagka hindi kayo nagsasalita.
I suggest that a committee, or if there's a committee already, to rethink this, please.
Meron nga, Tita Bet.
That's my suggestion.
Tita Bet, easy ka lang. Meron talaga.
the funding, maintaining a scholarship program and running it is really a more complex process than we think this. It really considers a lot of factors that we may or may not be aware of, and factors that are really more relevant locally there, and factors that are more understood by the experts in awarding scholarship and running a scholarship program. I think if we are going to dip our hands into that process, I think we will not be able to consider all factors because we are not there. We're not conscious, or we're not aware of the many factors that go into the choice of scholars. So I think it would be wiser for us to just rely on the expertise of UP Foundation in running the scholarship program as they see fit.
Yep.
Rather than us creating committees and beating our brains out, and really it's because really we're not experts in this. We're not conscious, or we're not aware of all the factors that go into running a scholarship program. I think it would serve us. It will serve us better if we leave it to experts in the same manner that we leave our health to the experts, we leave our financial standing to the experts. I think in this case as well, it is best for us to leave the running of the foundation, the running of the scholarship program to the experts who are in the demand.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't say that we are not going to put our inputs. For example, I was just thinking maybe this is too early in the game. You know, maybe this is not the forum, but just an example, I was just thinking in the back of my head to maybe talk to UP Foundation about a criteria that will disallow a graduate recipient of our scholarship fund to leave the country within 2 years after graduation, so that it allows the scholar to serve our country better.
Ay, ano yan? Talagang gana, no, Tito Jo, talagang meron nun. Meron na yon. That's already part. Kung scholar ka, cannot leave the
So this is
country.
what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm not an expert. I don't know it. Leave it to the expert.
Yeah.
Ginagawa na pala nila eh.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Alice.
Yeah, Marisa.
Moving forward, we've heard that inputs of Dr. Beth and we're here. Can we move forward? There's a committee. And because you've written them down, I agree with Beth. I also agree with you.
Yep.
We're here and maybe we can move forward. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's the best.
Yeah, bukas na bukas, i-create natin yung committee na yon. Maraming diskusyon eh, pero you can see the balance of our funds, right? We have non-endowment, yung endowment is parang kampante na tayo hanggang sa ilang years meron tayong talagang scholar. Non-endowment is depleted. Pero ang iaano ko yung abot kamay kasi alam nyo, although may committee tayo ng finance and fundraising committee, mahirap gumawa ng fundraising every year. So what we can do, we can sustain ourselves, avoid doing fundraising, basta't mag-ano na lang tayo sa abot kamay. Hindi mo nararamdaman, lumalaki yung pera.
Okay. I think it's time to close now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Sinarado na ni Tita Dayan yung ating ano. So thank you so much. We can continue discussion again.
Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I will be a member of the membership committee.
Great.
Okay.
Alice.
Po.
Mag-usap tayo tungkol sa archives.
Okay.
Marami akong fans.
See you everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Alice, mag-usap tayo.
Oo, sige.
I sent you a message.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tita Beth. Anyone move?
If yung council wants to stay, you can stay.
Pag-alis dito.
Anyone move to adjourn
Ano
the
nga?
meeting?
I moved that, kanina pa po close kasi kinlose na ni Tito Fred eh. Hindi na to part ng ating minutes next year. Sige, bye. Thank you so much.